Hello and welcome. I am Cindershadow, and today we're going to talk about Uncharted. I gotta say, I've played these games through and through long before I even started uploading, usually on YouTube. But today, if you do mind doing me a favor, like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And if you want to support the channel, links are down below. Memberships, Patreon, all of that stuff is there. Just take a look in the description. But today, Uncharted is being revealed as critics hate it and the fans love it. This is one of those scenarios that continues to go on in the world of movies, where you have top tier critics saying these movies are absolute trash, don't watch them, and then you have the people out there saying completely something else. If the critics don't like it and the people like it, it's going to be a movie that I guarantee that most of us will probably like. The games, when I played the first game of Uncharted, I beat it in about 20 hours straight. I couldn't put the game down. It was a unique experience in that sense, and it took a lot of stuff from, say, Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider really was the foregoing version of this type of game that pushed the predecessors now down the line. Uncharted looks like a fun-filled fest of a game. You've got Tom Holland playing the role of Nathan Drake. And then Mark Wahlberg playing his mentor, and what was his name? Sully? I think it's Sully. I can't remember. For some reason, it reminds me of Sully, which would have honestly, hopefully in later renditions, we see Tom Hanks filling that role, because I can see that in particular. But today we're going to look at it. This is Cosmic Book News. They're talking about Uncharted and the Rotten Tomatoes score in the box office. Right below me is a clip from the game. That's the who Tom Holland's supposed to be playing. He's a little bit older. I believe this is in the later renditions. Uncharted 4, I believe, is where that one's from. Tom Holland's Uncharted Rotten Tomatoes score Thursday box office is in. Tom Holland, Mark Wahlberg is now out in theaters with its Rotten Tomatoes score made known, and its Thursday's preview box office numbers have been released. With 144 reviews currently accounted for, Uncharted has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 39% from the critics. The critics don't like it because it's a video game movie made for the fans of the system, not for the critics. The reviewers don't normally give video game adaptation high marks, so bear that in mind, but that could also be because they're not really ever any good. The last two to come out on top of the head include Sonic and Mortal Kombat, which had scores of 63 and 54 respectively, and both weren't all that good. I thought Sonic was pretty well done for a video game adaptation style movie. I have not seen Mortal Kombat. I actually forgot it was out there. I haven't gone to the movie theaters. I just see what's in front of me, and in all intents and purposes, I barely have time to watch a movie. This is one that is on the top of my list because I know Uncharted. I know the game series. I've played most of it, and it is a fun series. There's certain times where you got to learn how to run and gun in a game. If you guys know what that means, you know the type of action intensity that you will have with them. But at least the fan audience scores are a lot higher, which means the majority of people that go to see these movies seem to like this type of flicks to some degree. And that's what it's for. If they're making a video game adaptation movie, you cannot appease the critics. You can't. You just can't. Otherwise, the video game adaptation will fall flat on its face. You have to appease the fans, because it's the fans that have played the game, it's the fans that have supported the game, and has built up that fan base. If you don't appease the fans, the game or the movie in itself will flop. It will just die flat on its face, and then the video games, they don't get made. We don't see them big movies. I gotta say, Uncharted was one of these games where it felt like you were watching a movie in the first place. And if they can bring that to the big screen with a compelling story, then it's good to go. Let's do this. Let's watch these things. That's what I like about video game adaptations. A lot of people don't like how adaptations get brought up. Look at what happened with a anime. Like, if you look at this from the anime perspective, anime adaptations to live action doesn't work, because in a lot of animes, you can animate certain things and have them tell the story in a much different way than you can do in live action. There's certain things that just don't translate very well in live action. However, with a video game movie, the premise is still the same. And if you have a video game that already plays much like a movie, and then it's coming to the big screen as a big shot movie, then it's going to play out very well. The Tomb Raider movies were okay. They were nothing to write home at. The Sonic movie, I thought when they brought it across, it was very good. Originally, they put out a god-awful version of Sonic, and they went to the fans. And I think they put that out there because they knew the fans would have a strong opinion on how Sonic looked in the movie. And this is the same sort of thing I am seeing with Uncharted. Uncharted box office, as good as Sonic, is the question they ask here. Regarding the Uncharted box office, don't expect anything close to Tom Holland's previous film, Spider-Man No Way Home. Well, the budget's not even close to the same. As Uncharted Thursday previews grossed $3.7 million, which is more in line with the Sonic the Hedgehog that netted $3 million when it opened to $58 million on the 3-day weekend, $70 million over its 4-day President weekend back in 2020. According to estimates, Uncharted is estimated to open only in the mid 30 millions for the same 3-day weekend as Sonic, with the said 40 million possible on that weekend. What's interesting is the deadline is starting not to expect numbers close to Sonic opening of 70 million for some reason, even though Uncharted has a higher Thursday preview, and it should be said that the Sonic debuted to 3 million on Thursday back in 2020. So we're seeing the comparisons here. People may go to the movie theaters. There's a lot of things going on right now, especially up here in Canada. Everyone's engrossed in what's going on with our parliament system. So it's hard to see if people are going to flock to the theaters. I think a lot more things need to open up, and then you will see an increase in this type of thing. You got to remember, this movie right now is going up against Spider-Man No Way Home, which is another Tom Holland flick. So I think you may see a spillover from Spider-Man to Uncharted, and let's hope that propels the movie forward. Now, looking at the reviews here, I was reading a few of them here, but we have the Rotten Tomatoes scoring, which is giving it a 39% on 173 reviews, or an 89 on 500 plus verified ratings. So let's look at the verified ratings being, I don't understand that. Let's look at all audience here, can we? Does this give you a number, or all critics maybe? Where I want to see the entire thing. So they're not putting the whole thing up there. You see a lot of green splats saying it's rotten. So it's very interesting. Can I get the whole thing? Let's go back to here. Now it's saying 88. I honestly think this movie is probably going to be pretty good. From everything I know about it and everything I've seen with the trailers makes me want to go out and see this movie. But what are the reviewers saying, right? This one, TK Burton, thus the critical process is simplified because the film sucks both as an adaptation and on its own merits and lack thereof. And in a positive one here, this is an entertaining experience from start to finish with excellent chemistry between the cast, a number of surprises, and a delightful connection to the inspiration. That type of review makes me feel more like Fast and Furious, where everyone just kind of cohesively worked with the movie, and then it became a very fun and exciting situation. Rather than find a way to surprise the audience, this is more of a film going through the motions and hoping the strength of it leads enough to get the help they're from. So that's a 4 out of 10. Yes, trust your own treasure, and their gold-digging partnership promises a sequel, a 3 out of 5. A 1.5 out of 5 here makes me wonder why someone didn't find the gold before, since it's rooted in availability history. So they're nitpicking the way the story goes forward. I think what is it, the treasure movie that Nicolas Cage put out there, it was the same sort of thing where all the hints and everything is out there, but a lot of the general public don't look into these things. They don't turn around and go gold searching. Like, that's a thing of the past. There's lots of red tomatoes here. This is an 80 out of 100. It's mostly in good, not particularly clever, fun, entertaining enough, but with the nutritional value of a bag of Twizzlers. I don't know if that's a good review or not, but he gave it an 80 out of 100. Thanks for some nice chemistry between the stars and some casting of the two intriguing female roles. It's much better than the script from Rayleigh Jenkins. Art Matt Holloway, they are handed. Okay. Interesting. So he's nitpicking on a different script that originally was tossed out. That's weird. Uncharted is actually quite entertaining, despite essentially being Indiana Jones light. That is the whole thing. Tomb Raider was born from Indiana Jones. Uncharted was born from the Tomb Raider aspect. So I don't get why you can't take from things to begin with. A lot of things are straight up done, and you have a lot that goes down the line. If you're not taking from things of the past and making it anew, then you're not going to have something great. This is a whole new story. This is a brand new story. Like the whole idea is the premise of this. We don't have things going in there where they're trying to promote a diversity situation here. We have new characters, a new story that's based off the original game, and ultimately, I believe something like this is where all of us have been talking about it. If you're going to make something new, make it new. If you're going to use the characters of old, you need to stay true to the way it is. And for me, this looks like it's going to be something that the fans are going to love and the critics are going to nitpick apart. And it really does look like they are when they're saying that you can find gold anywhere. Thanks for watching. Have yourselves a great day. This is your proud Canadian Phoenix signing off. I will catch you all next time.